Step by step on business. That's on my mama, watch me spin on me and split, now I can't feel it. We in the trap, we sold the city on my biddy. Take these diamonds off and show you how we lit it.
What's up? Welcome back to Before the Horn podcast, episode 46. As you know, I'm your host, Khalil. With me today, I got my boy, Daywan.
Woo! Let's go!
Yes, sir. Let's get it. Den's going to be here today. He got night class, so, we got to shoot this one without him. But, we got to keep the ball rolling, keep the show going on. We got a big episode. First things up, UFC 298. Volkanovski versus Topuria. It should be a good one. It's an absolute stat card from prelim to main card. It's stat card, big names on this card. So we should expect fireworks this weekend. We're going to give our predictions on that. Next up, we're going to talk about Mahomes and the Chiefs. To talk about, do you think they could be the first team in NFL history to three-peat 3 Super Bowls in a row? Do they have the team to do it this upcoming season? As well, we got to dive into some basketball. Some big news came out earlier this week with the Warriors and Draymond Green trying to make a push to trade for LeBron James. So we got to give our thoughts on that one as well. And to finish it up, it's a big weekend coming up, All-Star weekend coming up. So we're going to talk about who's competing, what we're looking forward to, But without further ado, take it away, Daywan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 46. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Whatever platform you guys are watching or listening to us on, we appreciate it. Couldn't be any more grateful. Let's get it going. UFC 298. This Saturday at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. We have a stat card. Let's get right into the main card. For the first fight of the main card in the middleweight division, we got Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. This fight, I'm not gonna lie, both these guys are currently on 4-fight win streaks. Last time Hernandez lost was to Kevin Holland, and that was in 2020. I'm gonna go with Hernandez in this one. He seems like a better fighter, in my opinion. Not gonna lie, Kopylov, he's sneaky. He's 11-2. I mean, he's still getting his feet wet in the UFC. He fought for a couple titles back then in the previous companies, but this guy's nothing to sleep on. I feel like this could go to the decision, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it makes the decision. I think I got Hernandez 3rd round TKO.
I'm going with Hernandez as well. I think this would be a very good fight. You got Hernandez, who's he's mastered in jiu-jitsu against a striker, and Kopylov, who's finished his last 4 opponents. I think this could be big fireworks. I think this is one of them fights. Whoever wins this fight lines them up to, start getting those bigger name fights. Hernandez is favored in this fight, and I'm going to go with him as well. I think he's going to use his grappling to his advantage. I don't think he gets to finish, but I think it'd be a very good fight. I think he's going to use his grappling to his advantage and, try to take away some of that punching power that Kopylov possesses.
I can see it going to decision, honestly. But I'm making a bold prediction. I think 3rd round TKO.
3rd round TKO. All right. He only got 2 in his career, so we're going to see.
Let's have big 3. All right, let's get on to the next fight. Match number 2 in a bantamweight division. This is how you know this card is stacked. This fight is the second fight of the main card. Usually this will be like a main event or co-main event fight, but we got Merab Dashvili versus Henry Cejudo. Earlier this week, Henry Cejudo also came out and said if he loses this fight at UFC 298 against Dashvili, he will be retiring from the UFC. Now, remind you, Henry Cejudo did retire in 2020 after he defeated Dominic Cruz. He retired. He stepped away from UFC for a couple years, came back last year, fought Aljo Sterling for the bantamweight championship. He lost, and we haven't seen him since then. But for this fight, I'm not going to lie, as decorated as Henry Cejudo is, with all the accomplishments he's had, this fight's going to go to the 3rd round. This should be a 5-round fight, in my opinion. But it's going to go all the way to the finish. I got Merab. Merab is going to put an end to Cejudo's career. I don't think it's going to be a dominant fashion. I mean, we've seen Cejudo versus Aljo. Aljo handled him pretty well. Merab was Aljo's training partner in camp. Aljo moved up from bantamweight. But I think Merab, just to avenge Aljo's end of reign in the bantamweight division, Merab's going to start off by defeating Henry Cejudo. I got Merab via split decision.
Split decision. Okay.
I'm going with that.
I think this is a big fight. You got Merab, who's on a 9-fight win streak, who was lining up for a title fight, who could have probably already had one, but he didn't want to fight Aljamain Sterling because they were the best friends. Against Henry Cejudo, who was a former double champ who took 3 years off and lost his fight last year to his training partner and Aljamain Sterling. And if you remember as well, Mayrab was also in the corner for that fight. So for some of those reasons, I'm going to take Mayrab. You know, he had the time to study. He got an up close personal look of what it's like, what it looks like to be in the octagon with him being octagon side. You know, being in the corner of Aljamain Sterling, and as you mentioned as well, Henry Cejudo kind of hinted at the fact like if he loses this one, he's probably going to retire. And I mean that if he does, that's on him because he was at the top of his game and he decided to leave for 3 years and come back and like
That's a
it's
fact.
just that's a lot to do, a
Just
lot
don't
to
do
handle.
that.
And I get it, like you're kind of still in shape, but like there's a difference between sparring in the gym and actually being in that octagon. That is two
Octagon.
different things, especially with guys that's been active. And we talked about it before when these guys take this long layoff off, that they come back and they don't look the same. Part of the reason why is that octagon rust. So I'm taking Mayrab in this one. I think it goes to distance as well, but I think Mayrab uses his experience that he's seen and Aljo being there as well. I think Aljo's going to be in his corner for this fight. I think that's going to give him the edge that he needs to get over on Henry Cejudo in this fight.
Like now that you mention it, it's tough to see how Henry Cejudo is about to go out. I mean, maybe he can get the win in this, but I don't see it because, again, like we both said, those 3 years off when he was at the top of his game, double champ and everything, decorated UFC fighter, decorated Olympic medalist. Those 3 years off to step away from the sport, I forgot what was the reason why he stepped away from UFC for a minute. But those 3 years off, when he came back and fought Aljo, it was like he didn't look the same, like you said.
I think it was more like he didn't see any competition. I think that's what he was saying. You know how he
Okay,
is.
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't see no competition. I think it's time for me to move along. I think that's what it is. And he comes back, seeing the Aljos out there, the Sean O'Malley's, the Mayrobs coming up, and he look at it as a new test. But sometimes you can't always go back to what you used to what you used to been when you haven't been in that spot for so long. But 3 years is a lot of time to
It's
take
a lot
off.
of time, especially for UFC. Oh yeah. All right, let's get into the next one. In the welterweight division, we have Jeff Neal taking on Ian Gary. Now, last time we saw Ian Gary, he wiped the floor with Neil Magny. He absolutely disrespected him. He wiped the octagon with him, like, no, all brooms, all mops, swifters. He destroyed Neil Magny in the octagon. Last time we seen Jeff Neal fight, he got submitted by Shavkat Rakhmonov, who is an upcoming welterweight. I think he's going to be fighting for a title pretty soon, but I'm not going to lie, Vegas got the odds in Ian Gary's favor, and I'm going with Vegas on this one because Ian Gary, I think he's going to dominate Jeff Neal, not the same way he dominated Neil Magny, but it's going to be in dominant fashion. I see this one going to the distance as well, but it's going to be a complete dominant fashion by Ian Gary. Maybe Ian Gary, he doesn't get too cocky in this fight. Hopefully he doesn't. I mean, that's just his swagger. That's just how he is. I mean, he's one of those Irish fighters. He definitely reminds me of Conor McGregor in some ways, and in a lot of ways, actually. Because that cockiness can catch up to you, and he can get put out. But I don't see Jeff Neal doing that, so I'm going to go with Ian Gary.
I'm going to go with Ian Gary as well by knockout. I think he has a statement and something to prove. Given everything that's transpired within the last few months, I don't want to get into his personal business and everything like that. He had to back out of a fight a couple months ago due to injury, whatever the case may be. But I think he has something to prove and a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's going to ride that into this fight. Jeff Neal is kind of similar to Neil Magny, a little bit better, but kind of a gatekeeper as well. I think that's that next level that you got to reach to. He's already submitted Neil Magny. So Jeff Neal, I think, is the next one. Once you get past him, you start to get up into those top guys, those top ranked guys that's going to, start to get for the number one contender fight, vying for that kind of stuff. So, I think this is a fight to prove that, he is the next best thing coming out of Ireland. I think, with, like I said, everything that transpired, like, I think he's going to go out there and put on a show. So give me Ian Gary by knockout.
Hey, we going to see, man. I think it's possible. Either one of our predictions is very, very possible. All right, moving on to the co-main event. This one's going to be fireworks as well. In the middleweight division, we got Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker, taking on Paulo Costa. This is going to be a great one. I'm not going to lie. Vegas has Robert Whittaker favored at -205. Honestly, I can see this going either way. I really can. And Paulo Costa, he's a really good stand-up fighter. Like, he has his punching power is unmatched. He's a really good fighter. Only thing I feel like Paulo Costa is kind of weak in is his defense in a way, We saw a lot of people piece him up, touch him up. He gets very easily rattled, in my opinion, sometimes. And you see Bobby Whitaker, he's coming off a couple straight losses, which is kind of uncharacteristic for him. But I feel like ever since Bobby lost to Israel Adesanya years ago for the middleweight championship, kind of see him decline a tad bit. I mean, he's still one of the most respected fighters in this business. Don't doubt that whatsoever. With that being said, in this fight, I got Bobby Knuckles getting back on track. I got him defeating Paulo Costa. Again, this can go either way, but I got Bobby winning by via split decision as well.
First, let's talk about Paulo Costa. I mean, let's see if he makes weight first, because the one thing
true.
about him, like, he's one of those guys that you better hope he can make weight. You know, him and Hamza was supposed to fight last
Chimaev,
year.
yep.
Didn't happen. He got an injury, whatever the case may be. So he's back. One of my biggest issues with him as well, like, he doesn't fight enough. He's not active enough for me. His last fight was 2022, August of 2022. So it's about a year and a half since the last time he stepped in the octagon.
That's
And like we mentioned mentioned a while ago, octagon rust is a thing. So, you know, we never know. But this is also a guy who only fights once a year. When you look at his last 5 fights, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, those are the last fights. And so he's not really that active of a fighter. Then when you look at a guy like Robert Whitaker, you know, who's been in there with the best of the best, you know, the Israel out of Lucas Duplessis, Marvin Vittori's, Kelvin Gastelum, Jared Cannonier. That's just his last fight. I'm gonna go with Robert Whitaker in this one as well. I just think he's more active, more experienced fighter. You know, I think I just don't trust Paulo Costa enough. Like, he has the talent and everything else, but I don't know if he's committed enough the way Robert Whitaker or even any of these 85ers go, you know? So from that standpoint, give me Robert Whitaker in this fight. Daewon, question for you.
What's up, man?
What do you think is next for the winner of this fight? And what do you think is next for the loser of this fight?
All right, so for the winner, I think Kazmat Chimaev definitely gonna get a shot at whoever wins this fight. I mean, like you already mentioned earlier, Paulo Costa was supposed to fight Kazmat Chimaev, but, you know, due to not making weight or injuries, that got blown out of here. But I think whoever wins the fight, they're gonna see Chimaev. I don't think Chimaev is deserving of a title opportunity just yet. But if he can get past one of these guys when they win, then he can be deserving of it. For the loser of this fight, though, it's gonna be tough, honestly. I don't see what's gonna happen with loser, but they probably drop down a couple spots, and I don't know. I'm lost word. I don't know what's gonna happen with loser this fight, but pretty much know that they're probably not gonna fight for a title ever again in this in the division. They probably gotta move up.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at, you know, the 185 division, I think the winner of this fight sets them up for a good way to make to get a number one contender fight. I don't think this is exactly a number one contender fight, given, you know, you got the Sean Strickland who just lost the belt, you got Izzy Adesanya that's hinting at coming back, you know, who's knocking on the door for Dricus Duplessis. That was the fight that we were supposed to see last September, which didn't just come to form. But you also mentioned Hamza Chimaev. I'm sorry, I just don't think he deserves a title shot or anything like that. This is a guy who is ranked 11th within the 185 division, middleweight division, and then he hasn't fought in a true middleweight yet. He fought a welterweight at 185 on a short
week's
fight.
notice, yeah.
So, like, I'm sorry, like, until I actually see him get in there with a true 185er, you know, there's a difference between a guy who weighs in at 185 and a guy who, you know, barely makes it at 185, who has to really cut to get to 185. Like, there's just a big difference in, you know, and size and girth and stuff like that. So I'm not really on the Chimaev train right now. But for the loser, yeah, I'm kind of like where you at with it. Like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough for them to get back up to a title shot. Like you said, probably have to move divisions, whatever the case may be, because this division is getting pretty competitive.
It's
like I said, like we
competitive.
mentioned with the names that's
Very.
up top. So the winner, I mean, the loser of this fight definitely has a hard uphill battle, especially if it's Paulo Costa, somebody who doesn't fight too often. I mean, I wouldn't have him anywhere near a title fight anytime soon, to be honest.
I mean, Chimaev, maybe not. Well, maybe not Chimaev. You say he doesn't deserve it. What about Sean Strickland? I mean, he's
Like,
trying to
yeah,
bounce
I mean,
back after that robbery.
well, here's the thing. Like, we don't see many people who didn't defend the belt get an automatic bid at a title shot. So, like, I don't know about that, especially like I said, if Robert Whitaker wins this fight, you also got the Jared Cannonale. You see what he did to Marvin Vettori. He's still waiting in the wings for his next fight. You have Brendan
He's boring
Allen.
though.
Yeah, but if he strings a couple fights along, maybe you put Strickland in with him when it gets to fight. You never know. Like I said as well, Izzy has hinted at coming back. So, if Izzy comes back, I'm sure, he has a route for a title shot, just given that who he is. So it's a give and take situation. I think there's a lot of options you could deal with. So Sean Shelby and Dana White have some tough decisions to make in the future after this fight.
All right. Let's get into our main event. This one's going to be really great. The buildup has been crazy to this for months of trash talk on social media, at the press conferences that happened on Thursday evening. I can't wait to see this one. For the featherweight championship, we got Alexander the Great Volkanovski taking on Ilya Topuria. Ilya, he's starting to rub me the wrong way. Pause. Like, he's really starting to grind my gears. Like, don't start with me, bro. Don't start
I
with
didn't
me.
say anything. I
The
didn't even
face,
say
the face.
anything.
I said pause. I said pause.
I didn't say
Relax.
anything. I didn't say anything.
Relax. I'm not no freak. I'm not no freak. All right. I'm a very relaxed man. I'm a very relaxed man right now. Ilya is definitely doing too much right now. Saying he put in his social media bio, the new featherweight champ. At the press conference on Thursday, he took Alexander Volkanovski's belt while Volkanovski was talking and started taunting with it. His girlfriend even got involved in the trash talk. She was taunting and trash talking Volkanovski on Instagram. He's been trying to get in Volk's head. I mean, it's good marketing. It's good way to sell the fight. Topuria is a very, very good fighter. And no doubt am I sleeping on him at all. Very, very impressive striker. He can bounce back easily. Like, he gets rattled. He gets knocked down a couple times. He gets hit. He's like, all right, bet. I got you next round. And he pours on you. But Alexander Volkanovski is a different freaking breed. Now, yes, Volk is coming off of a loss against Islam Makhachev. That was in the lightweight division. He probably won't see another title shot unless Makhachev loses. But Volk has been running this division since 2018, 2019. This is his division to lose. With that being said, I'm going to go with, and still, Alexander Volkanovski via unanimous decision.
Yeah, when you look at it, if you look at the line via ESPN Bet, this is the closest line. This is pretty much a pick 'em on ESPN Bet. Volk is favored at minus 125 to Ilya Topuria plus 105. So it's pretty much a pick 'em. Like you mentioned as well, the antics that's been going on all week. If you didn't even mention at media day, he's taking pictures with the belt for his media pictures and stuff like that. So he's coming in very cocky. And I'm gonna be honest, this is a world that he has not been in. Like, I get
Exactly.
it, he was in a big fight with Josh Emmett and everything else, but this is different. This is the lights is brighter. The build up to it is everything. So you don't know exactly what you're getting yourself into until you're actually there in that octagon with Bruce Buffer announcing your name, the stadium going dark. The anticipation too. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna take Volk in this one as well. Last time we seen him, it wasn't the best. But we also remember he also took his last fight on a short notice,
That's
moving
right.
up weight. So, we can't, I'm not going to put that against him. We've seen what he done with past 45ers. In his most recent 145 fight with Yair Rodriguez, he beat Yair Rodriguez. This is the featherweight GOAT, at this point, with the run he's been on. I think he's overtaken Max Holloway for
Oh,
that
yeah.
reign featherweight GOAT. So I got Volk in this one to get the win and still at the end of the day. Question. What is
Listen,
next? What is next if Volk wins? What is possibly next for
I
Volk?
don't know. Like, if he wins, I mean, I guess you could say whenever Tuporia gets ready, they can run it back with Tuporia. Or if Yair is ready, if he wants his lick back against Volk, you could book a second fight with him as well. But again, we've seen Volk dominate Yair. We've seen Volk dominate everybody in his division. So I would say Volk can move up in lightweight division. He could start fighting there. But again, he already lost to Islam Makhachev twice. But I don't see that happening. So I'm not gonna lie. If you don't want to move at the lightweight, bro, just retire. You've done all you can in this sport. Just retire, bro. If you don't want to move at lightweight at this point after you win and beat Topuria, if you beat Topuria, just retire, man.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a fight coming up next week. Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega. I think that's going to be the number one contender fight for the belt after this. If Volk retains, if he loses, I think he gets the automatic rematch. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to see T City versus Volk again. That first fight was a freaking banger. T City, I don't know how he did not get submitted by.
He should have won.
If y'all remember that fight, bro, he had a submission locked in. Like I don't know how he got, but that was a good fight, and I wanted
great
to see
fight.
that. It sucks that he got injured not too long ago. I think he had a shoulder injury in his last fight, so this is his bounce back fight from all that. But I kind of would want to see Brian Ortega beat Yair Rodriguez next week, and then fight Volk. I think that could be another big fight. But other than that, for Volk, I mean, at this point, he really does not have nothing else to prove. Like besides Topuria, I don't see another person at this point in time that's going to be knocking on the door for Volk. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad if he hung it up after this because he really has nothing else to prove, honestly.
Fact, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, give us y'all predictions for UFC 298 in the comment section below. We gave you guys ours. We want to hear yours, but make sure you guys tune in this Saturday, either on ESPN Plus or pay-per-views or any way you want to watch it. I'm not promoting any bad ways. Don't sue me or don't get me hemmed up. But it'll be going down in Anaheim, California at the Honda Center. UFC 298, Volkanovski versus Topuria. All right, moving into the next topic. On Sunday, we saw the Kansas City Chiefs secure their 4th ring. They are the first team to go back-to-back since the 2003 New England Patriots. The question that everybody's wondering is, can the Kansas City Chiefs do a three-peat? They can be the first team in NFL history to achieve a three-peat. Khalil, do you see this happening for the 2024 NFL season?
I think they have the chance to. I don't want to speak too soon on it, given that the season just ended and there's so much still to happen between now and next season when we talk about free agency, the draft, and stuff like that. So I don't want to jump the gun too early, but I think they have a very good chance at three-peating. They have one of the youngest defenses in the NFL. They have a couple big free agents that I think they're going to need. Biggest one of them all, like I've been saying, the best NFL, Chris Jones. I think you have to get a deal done. I think they eventually do. I think Chris Jones end up coming back. I like Mecole Hardman. I didn't like when he left. I like that they brought him back. He's a sneaky good guy that could use for depth piece. They're losing what's his name? Their tackle Donovan Smith. I'm not the biggest Donovan Smith fan. He's kind of in his latter years, in my opinion. So, we're gonna see what happens there. But like I mentioned, like you cannot count out Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And for a lot of people thought this was the best time to get them. They
had a down year.
Yeah, like this was their down year. Like the year before was their down year. And guess what they did? Sat there and won 2 rings after Tyreek Hill left. Not to throw a shot at Tyreek Hill. But, a lot of people didn't think this team was as good without him. And, they go out there, win a ring, and then struggle through the season, and they go out there and win a ring again. And I think Brett Veach is going to bring in more talent to surround his team with. So, Rashee Rice is going to be in his 2nd year. I don't think they bring back Kadarius Toney. You get a healthy Sky Moore. You get Isaiah Pacheco back again. I don't think they're going to bring back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, my personal opinion. But, this is also a team that drafts very well. You got George Karlaftis, who's going to be going in his 3rd year. He's been taking some nice steps. I like Nick Bolton. They probably bring Drew Tranquil back again. And I love their DBs with McDuffie and Snead and Justin Reed and all them boys. They just got dogs. They got a lot of pieces that's coming back. And like I said, I expect Brett Veach to get the right guys in there. He did it this past year when people doubted them. All the guys that he brought in stepped up big. Like the offensive line that was quote unquote shaky all year had no penalties, no holding penalties in the Super Bowl. So they bring the right kind of guys in. So I trust Brett Veach. So I think this team has a very, very good chance of three-peating. I don't want to go so far as to say they will at this point. Like I said, there's just so much to happen with free agency and the draft and stuff like that. So we're gonna wait and see on that. But they should be the favorite at this point.
After the Super Bowl, according to Vegas, the San Francisco 49ers are your 2024 favorites to win the Super Bowl, which I don't know how you picked the Niners after their performance, one, and two, we just saw the Chiefs go back-to-back in their quote-unquote down years. Like you said, GM Brett Breach, he's put together a solid team, a team full of undrafted players and late-round players and quote-unquote nobodies. He made them into a well-gel, rounded team. And like you said,
remember too, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you got to remember this: they don't pick high. They're picking at the last every round.
They pick the last spot. The last handful of years, they've been picking like the last three, 4 spots. Let's be real. They just draft really well, like you said. They sign key players that they know they can work with. And kudos to Andy Reid and the coaching staff and Steve Spagnuolo and Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy's garbage, but he's good. He's a good quality coach or coordinator, whatever he is on the Chiefs. But when you got number 15 at the helm, you got Travis Kelce, even though he's 35 years old, he's going to year 36. He still put up great numbers. He's still playing at an elite level. Yes, this year was a down year. He was like probably the third or fourth best tight end in the league this year. But we got, again, I'm gonna say it again. We got number 15 at quarterback. Anything is possible. We got Big Red at the head of the helm, running the ship. Anything is possible. The Chiefs definitely can three-peat. Now, there are some teams that can be in their way. The year they won Super Bowl 57, if it wasn't for a penalty, the Bengals would have beat them in the AFC Championship. The year before that, the Bengals did beat them in the AFC Championship. That's just in the AFC. The Bills, I don't see them getting it done. The Ravens, I don't even know if they can get it done. I love Lamar, but I don't know if he can get it done ever against Mahomes. Never say never, though. In the NFC, there's a lot of teams in the NFC that are like team-wise are better than the Chiefs, but they aren't the better team when they face the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's saying a lot. If you get where I'm going, you get where I'm going. But the Chiefs, they can definitely do a three-peat. It would, I mean, a lot of people are gonna say it's rigged anyway. They're gonna say, "Oh, get ready in New Orleans 2024 at Super Bowl 59. Get ready for the Chiefs to hit a three-peat because that's how the NFL wants it scripted or rigged." Bro, just admire greatness. It is no Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a top 3 quarterback of all time right now. Khalil thinks he's top 2. Again, that is very agreeable and debatable. I somewhat agree with that, but again, I'm not going back and forth with him. That was in episode 45. Y'all want to go see that? Link will be in the description. But again, yes, I do think the Chiefs can do a three-peat, and I would love to see it. Of course, I'm rooting for my Eagles at the end of the day, but a three-peat is very highly obtainable for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Who do you think is the biggest threat to them not being able to three-peat?
Are we talking about in the AFC?
Any team, well, whether it's an AFC team or you think they get it back to the Super Bowl and it's an NFC team that can challenge, who would you think the biggest threat to them are right now?
Right now, I would say the Bengals or the Ravens. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say those two teams. The Ravens had them on ropes many times in the AFC Championship game. It's just they had too many young stars and too much inexperience against a very experienced team who's been there numerous times. You got the Bengals, who's had their number in the regular season. Besides this past year, the Chiefs finally beat the Bengals, but Joe Burrow was injured. Don't forget that. But the Bengals have to find a way to get T. Higgins back on the team. They're probably going to franchise tag him. Because Joe Burrow's that guy. Don't forget that, guys. He's that guy. He's one of Patrick Mahomes' kryptonite, him and Tom Brady. But in the AFC, I'm going to say the Bengals and Ravens. And the NFC, again, like I said, there's a lot of teams in the NFC that are a better team than the Chiefs, but they aren't the better team. So San Fran, then Philly. I want to say the Cowboys. They have a better team, but I don't trust Dak. Dak is trash. Dak is ass, whatever Shady McCoy said. But I'm going to say the Eagles, Niners. I don't want to say the Packers too early. I don't want to say the Lions. No, I'm going to say the Lions. Eagles, Niners, Lions. Those are the teams I could think to give the Chiefs a run in the NFC if they happen to meet in the Super Bowl 59. But those are my teams.
So I actually got a team, and this is a team that did not make the playoffs this year, where I think they can cause some noise. That's the Los Angeles Chargers with Jim Harbaugh. I think Jim Harbaugh is very good at getting the best out of his QBs. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not as high on Kellen Moore as I was when you look at what transpired last year with Dak taking a step forward without him and Justin Herbert taking a step back with him. So, that was cause for concern as well as like, was this the best guy for him? As you can see, Jim Harbaugh didn't retain him with LA. So, Jim Harbaugh is going to bring in his old guys. You're going to have, hopefully they bring back Keenan Allen, Mike Williams get healthy. Quentin Johnston hopefully can take that next step. We talk about all the pieces that this team had. They just couldn't put it together. We talked about Brandon Staley and the poor choices that he made. And, I think where they're drafting as well, I think they're drafting at number 5. So they're very, very high within all these rounds. And I think they're going to have some good picks. Harbaugh, the best thing about getting a guy from college is that they see these college guys. They know who these college guys are. So you're around these guys. You've seen these guys play on Saturdays and stuff like that. So you know the guys that are out there, whether they go get a Brock Bowers or they try to shore up something on that defense. You still got Asante Samuel Jr. So like I said, they have a lot to work with, and they're going to be a dark horse team to give the Chiefs problems. I feel like.
We say that every year, though, about the Los Angeles Chargers. They have the team. They have the talent, like you said. They just can't put it together. I hate to see it because I love Justin Herbert. I love Joey Bosa, even though he can't stay healthy. The Chargers are thinking about letting him walk because he's owed a lot of money. He's injury prone. Khalil Mack probably not coming back. He's a free agent this year. Then we talk about Mike Williams. He's always injured almost every year. Quentin Johnson, he has to take that next step. They got some good tight ends. Austin Eckler had a down year at running back, but he's a serviceable running back, especially fantasy-wise.
They got to try to get back as well. But I think what it is as well is that we've seen Harbaugh get the best out of his players, whether it was an Alex Smith or a Colin Kaepernick or, go to college. Like, look what he did in college, when he got the time to build it up. And like I said, look at what he's drafting. So, like, they're going to have they probably going to have some cap restrictions just because of the contracts they have. So they probably going to have to move some money around, just to free up a couple spots. But I think they hit free agency, get a couple good players. And like I said, they're drafting number 5 in the first round. So they have very, very good draft position as well.
A lot of options at 5.
I think, you get the right guys in there around Justin Herbert and you let Justin Herbert get back to who he was a couple years ago before Kellen Moore got there. This team could be a problem. I just feel like they just have the potential to. And I like the D coordinator. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he was at Michigan. He was at Baltimore before. Jim Harbaugh got him from John Harbaugh to Michigan. Now he's in LA with him again. And he had that Michigan defense flying around in college, and he's not new to this game. It's not like he's a college guy. No, he was in the league. He's been experienced with the league. He's been around, very, very good talent. When we talk about that Baltimore Ravens defense, not just this year, but in years past, they've always been a good defense. So I think he's going to bring the right philosophy in there. I think they just have a very, very good coaching staff. I don't think the question marks that we had about this coaching staff that we had with Brandon Staley is going to rise with Jim Harbaugh and this new staff that they got.
Hey, we'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, give us y'all thoughts and comments below on the topic we just talked about. Can the Kansas City Chiefs achieve a three-peat come Super Bowl 59 in 2025 in New Orleans, Louisiana at the Caesars Superdome? Or will someone knock them off? If someone will knock them off, who team you guys think is the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs? We want to hear that all in the comment section below. Give us your thoughts and opinions on that. All right, on to the next topic. The NBA trade deadline has ended, but some interesting news came out after the deadline had ended. Apparently, Draymond Green was in the ear of LeBron James' agent, Rich Paul, pretty much trying to convince the Warriors to trade for LeBron James, but the offer was turned down. And I want to know, what's your thoughts on how the situation played out? Now, if y'all didn't know, I'm going to say it again. I'm not the biggest Draymond Green fan. I despise Draymond. If I had a chance to fight him, I probably would. Y'all can DM him this video. I would definitely probably throw hands with Draymond. I got boxing gloves. We can go to the gym. We can get down in my backyard. Pause. I just don't like you, Draymond. But I 100% do give you credit for this. You're trying to get one of the best players in the world to come play for your team, who's already a pretty good team. Yes, The Warriors currently right now are 26-26. They aren't doing that great at all. You got Klay Thompson coming off the bench now. He's not even in the starting lineup no more. Draymond can never stay on the court. He's always getting freaking suspended, but lately he's been keeping his nose clean after he went to therapy and came back from suspension. Of course, you got Chef Curry continuing to carry this team like a backpack. I don't blame Draymond for this. Now, I'm not gonna lie, LeBron on the Warriors would have fed numerous families and would have excited many fans. But let's be real, the NBA wouldn't let that happen. Like, let's be real. Imagine LeBron James on the Golden State Warriors. That would have been crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I would have took a flight to San Fran myself and bought some tickets. Y'all know I'm a huge LeBron fan. Don't call me no Bron sexual either. I'm a huge LeBron fan. I think he's the greatest player of all time. Shut up. Stop being a hater. Watch your mouth.
You are.
Watch your mouth. But the fact that the Warriors were trying to pursue or had interest in LeBron James, it's really telling you a lot. But it also makes you think, will LeBron James actually go through with this?
Well, he said no to it. So they asked Jeannie. Jeannie said no. She said, I'll leave it up to LeBron. LeBron said no. So I don't think he would do it. I think, yeah, like the biggest thing, and I think LeBron is smart for saying no. It would not make sense in my personal opinion. I don't think this team would be a legit contender if they was to trade for LeBron. Sorry, not sorry to say. Just for the simple fact, if you trade for LeBron, you got to give something up. Probably gonna have to give up Wiggins. You probably gonna have to give up Kuminga. You probably gonna have to give up Brandon? I don't know how to say his last name. Who just replaced Klay Thompson in the lineup?
Yeah,
you're gonna deplete your bench to a point where like it's Steph Curry, LeBron, and whatever's left of Klay.
Draymond
not going to be a scorer. So like you got to actually think about what that team is going to look like, and I don't think that team can compete with the Nuggets or the Clippers or the Suns or stuff like that. Just because we've seen what makes these teams, especially in the playoffs, what's the biggest difference besides the superstar play is those 6, 7, and 8 guys. Well, you got to remember what the Bruce Browns did, what the Gabe Vincents did, what the Caleb Martins did. They made some of the biggest difference. The Derek Whites, they made the biggest difference on why these teams, Christian Brown for the Nuggets, they made the biggest difference on why these teams made it so far, and AKA why the Nuggets wins is because those 6, 7, and 8 guys come in and give you the juice, give you the minutes, while your stars are giving you rest. And we've seen teams like the Suns with KD and D Book both going for 40, but if they wasn't going for 40, they didn't have enough help on for their 6, 7, and 8 guys, because a bench only going about 3 deep. Once we get to the playoff time, you should tighten that bench up a lot. But like I said, like if you don't have those guys that can come in and give you a spark, like there's nothing you can really do. Like we've seen it last year with the Lakers, the Hachimura's, the fucking Austin Reeves, they all stepped up. I don't think they're going to have those guys because you're going to have to get rid of those guys just to get LeBron. I think it'd be pointless. But hats off to Draymond. Draymond, he did the same with KD. He was able to get KD, went in the parking lot crying, whatever the case may be, to get KD to come. But yeah, no, I just wouldn't have seen it working. Like it wouldn't have made sense with me. To me, they still got Chris Paul. I think he's hurt right now, but you forget that Chris Paul is still there. So yeah, no, I think this is just be an old team that they get the right matchup. They get an OKC or a team like that can just run him off the court, and be honest. So it just wouldn't have made sense to me. I'm not gonna lie at all.
That was gonna be my follow-up question. How would that have worked in your opinion? But you already pretty much answered my follow-up question. But I got another follow-up question. My follow-up question is, who should the Warriors have traded for at the trade deadline? Like, they need a lot of help right now. They're not doing too hot in the West, let alone as a whole. Like, who do you think they should have traded for?
That's a good question. I mean, you look at the guys that was out there on the block. You had the Levines, the DeRozans, the John Murrays. Kyle Kuzma didn't want to move anywhere.
Pascal Siakam.
Siakam was out there for a second. And, I think like a Siakam would have been a good deal to make. Like now that you mention it, just because it gives you somebody that can score from the wing position, something I think they lack. I am a big Kuminga fan. He's from Jersey. shout out Jersey all day. But at
Yes,
the
sir.
same time, like he only averages like 15 points a game. No disrespect to him, but he another, Cuffs all-star, a guy that's been there, who won championship, who has veteran experience and big game experience would be very, very beneficial. Like I said, like they just need somebody else that can score the basketball without Steph Curry. Like I said, they still got Chris Paul. If he gets healthy, you got a point guard that can find you in the right spots, whether that was, a Pascal Siakam or something like that. But even on a smaller scale, if they could have gotten to the Knicks sweepstakes with RJ Barrett or something like that, I think something like that could have also been, beneficial, something on a smaller scale. Even
Mm-hmm.
like Buddy Hield would have helped out, I think, as well.
Yeah, but Philly picked him
Not
up.
Yeah, yeah, Philly got him. That was a good pickup for them. But like, just somebody who's able to score the basketball on their own, given the fact that Klay Thompson is not who he is anymore. So I think those are a couple names that, the Warriors should have looked at, but I don't think they are really in the mindset of championship. I think they should be. I think they're kind of trying to figure things out. What do you think? Who do you think they should have got?
I think just they should went after Pascal Siakam, but they let the Pacers get him. I mean, yes, you probably have to move players like Kaminga or other players as well, but the Warriors need a big. Draymond, yes, he's tall. I don't like him, but I respect his defense. I respect his tenacity until it gets erratic and out of hand. But he can't guard every big in the league. Pascal and Draymond would have been great. I'm not gonna lie, helping with the big men, because you mentioned the big men in this league. You got Jokic, you got AD, you got other guys like that. They're really good big men. Warriors need help. Chef Curry can't keep carrying. He's almost 40 years old. He can't keep carrying. And then Clay, Clay's averaging 17, but he's on the bench now. But like I said, they need a big man. They need help. And I was really hoping that the Warriors got Pascal Siakam. But again, they didn't really make any moves. So just got to keep suffering for the rest of the year. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for that topic. Give us your thoughts and opinions about the Golden State Warriors hinting at or trying to make a move at LeBron James during the trade deadline. Do you guys think this would have worked out, or do you guys think this would have fared terribly? Give us your thoughts and opinions on that below. Also, who do you guys think the Warriors should have made a move for at the trade deadline? Do you think that the Warriors not making any moves at the trade deadline is going to affect them for the rest of the year? Or do you think the Golden State Warriors will somehow still sneak in the playoffs and make a run? All right, moving into our last topic, NBA All-Star Weekend. Indianapolis, Indiana, 2024. It's going to be lit. I already know everybody's not the biggest fan of the All-Star game, how it used to be. It has completely changed over the last, I'll say, like 10 years. Khalil, my question to you is, what are you looking forward to for All-Star Weekend?
I think one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to on this All-Star Weekend is the Rising Stars Challenge. I think with the format that they got, the four teams, two teams play each other, then two teams in the championship. It's kind of weird setting, but there's a lot of young talent that I just want to see on display. When you talk about the Paolo Bancheros and the Chet Holmgrens and the Victor Wembanyama's, and then you got the young guys on the come up that's coming out the G League with Ron Holland, Matisse. I don't know how to say his name, but he should be a lottery pick coming up. So, I think there's a lot of young talent that's coming up in the game that, get to show their skills on display. They probably don't get to show as much during the season just because of the guys that they're playing with. So this is a spectacle that they put on for display. And, I'm an OKC fan, so we get to see Chet, we get to see Carson Wallace, you get to see Jalen Williams do their thing. That's my biggest three I want to see. Get out there, do their thing. I'm also a Duke fan, so Derek Lively and stuff like that. Just go out there and put on a show pretty much for the fans in Indy. I think they're gonna have the crowd rocking. And then when you look at All-Star Saturday night, I'm always a big fan of the Saturday night spectacles. I did the dunk
Yes,
contest.
sir.
Got
Yes, sir.
Mac McClung back in there, defending his championship, even though he's a G
Yes.
guy. Same with Jacob Toppin, another G League guy. But if they're the best dunkers out there, let's see
Yes,
them. Let's
sir.
put on a show. You got the All-Star and Jaylen Brown, who's going to be doing the dunk contest as well, also with the
Yeah.
young guy podcast. So those are always a show, something to watch, something to see. Let's see what they bring this year. Hopefully, I don't think they could top some of the past ones, but we never know. We never know what they got in a bag till they bring it
You're
out.
right. You're
And
right.
I think the 3-point competition is always going to be competitive when you look at the names that's in there. You got the Jalen Brunsons, the Halliburtons, the Damian Lillards, the Laurie Markkanens. the Donovan Mitchell, Cat, Trey Young, Malik Beasley. You know, you never like you kind of have an idea who should win, but you never know who's going to win, who's going to pull it out. It may be a big. You just think, oh, probably Dame because you probably and your idea is the best 3-point shooter, but you know that doesn't always matter when it comes to
It
that.
don't. We seen Curry lose 3-point competition before.
Exactly. We've seen Curry lose. We've seen Clay lose. We've seen a lot of people lose. So you just never know. But, you know, we're going to touch on the All-Star game in a little bit. But what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Steph versus Sabrina. You know, you got Sabrina Ionescu from the New York Liberty. I mean, she facing Chef Curry in a 3-point contest. That's going to be epic. Sabrina, yes, she shot on an NBA court before. I mean, let's be real. She plays in WNBA, but I'm pretty sure she shot on an NBA court before. It is a deeper
they
three,
got a
but
WNBA line for her, if I'm not mistaken. She's shooting from WNBA distance.
okay,
Shooting
bet.
from NBA.
So it's gonna be pretty fair. I mean, I don't really care. I'm just excited to see them shoot the lights out. These are two of some of the best shooters I've ever seen. She's definitely one of the best female shooters I've ever seen. And you got obviously the greatest shooter of all time in Steph Curry. So I'm excited for that. Every year I look forward to the Celebrity All-Star Game. I love seeing these guys play. You got my boy Kai Cenat, one of the best streamers out there. He gonna be out there acting a goofball.
Time out. Can we talk about the clip of Kai playing against the little kids, bro?
Dude, that was funny. Nah, that was funny. That was funny.
Bro got
that
a whole
hilarious.
mixtape playing
Go
against
check that
kids,
out on
bro.
Ball's Life mixtape, bro. That man, he a clown for real, for real. Yeah, Micah Parsons, Kai Cenat, you got all those guys out there. They be playing ball. The two coaches are Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith. Those guys are best friends. Some of the best sports analysts and commentators we've ever seen. They're gonna be head coach of their respective teams. I'm just excited to see that. Like the Celebrity All-Star Game is always great. And then for the dunk contest, like you mentioned, Khalil, it's gonna be epic. I personally got Jaylen Brown coming out on top, winning that. I think Mac McClung definitely put on a show last year, but he could definitely repeat as a champion. But yes, I'm being biased right now. I would love to see Jaylen Brown go off. And then in 3-point contest, like you said, we've seen great players lose. But personally, for that, I got Trey Young winning it. Dame probably gonna come in second, but hey, don't sleep on them other guys like Malik Beasley and stuff. All those guys can shoot, hence why they're in that 3-point contest. But all that stuff is gonna be epic, for real, for real. I'm excited for it.
Let's dive into the main event, the All-Star Game Sunday night. For the Eastern side, you got Giannis, you got Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo, Paolo Banchero. Scotty Barnes is going to be an injury replacement for Embiid, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, and you got Trey Young, who's going to be an injury replacement. And for the Western Conference side, you got LeBron, as always, Luka, KD, Shea, Nikola Jokic, and on their bench, they got Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Karl Anthony Towns. Not going to lie, I got to go with the West.
So I'm about to say, bro, keep it real. Keep it real, boy. You got to go with the West side on this one. You got to go with the West side on this one, bro. That team is stacked. The bench alone is stacked. They can all be starters in the game. It's crazy.
I got to go with the West. Like you mentioned, the bench, you got Steph, you got D-Book, you got Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Cat, all coming off the bench. Like, that's crazy. I'm sorry.
And seeing Steph as a reserve this year is kind of like shocking, but it's like.
But that just goes to show what Shea and Luka
has done.
Like they've been balling, especially Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. You know, like I said, I'm an OKC fan. I'm a big fan of his. Like they down there doing their thing in OKC, man. Keep doing your thing for sure. I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of wish it was captains. I kind of miss the captain format, you know, just to balance out these teams because on paper, oh my God,
like West I said, crazy.
The West looks crazy though. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta go with the West in this one.
But honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully, we see some competitiveness because I'm tired of these All-Star games where it's just like you run up and down the court, they let you score. Like I want to see some competitiveness. Play some defense. I don't know, remember this, but I think it was like in 2020 where they were playing for charity, and it came out to the end of the game where Anthony Davis like missed a free throw on purpose. I forget what year that was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the most competitive I've seen an All-Star game.
That was 2021 after.
That was 2021.
In honor of Kobe and stuff. It was 2020.
That's what it was. That's what it was. It was 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was 2020. So I was kind of right. But that was the most competitive I've seen an All-Star game in a while. I hope it's like that this year. I love watching the All-Star game, but I have a love-hate relationship with the All-Star game, how it's been the last like handful of years. It's just like a free-for-all, like recess time, which again, the players, that's their time to relax and just have fun with each other before they get back to the competitiveness. But man, still be competitive. I'm sorry, bro. Play hard. We ain't got time for that nonsense.
So, question: what is something that you would like to see in All-Star Weekend that they probably don't have right now, or something like you think you'll want to add to All-Star Weekend just to make it a little bit better?
All right, two things. I'm gonna say first, bring back the players wearing their own like teams' respective jerseys, because these new jerseys they've been coming out for the last handful of years are ugly as hell. It's like, for instance, let LeBron wear his Lakers jersey, let Curry wear his Warriors jersey, let Tatum wear his jersey, let Luka wear his Mavs jersey. It can be a city edition, a home or away, association edition. It don't matter. Let them wear their respective jerseys for whatever team that they play for. My second thing is, yes, the WNBA has their own All-Star game, but I wouldn't mind seeing more integrated activities. Like we got Steph versus Sabrina. I wouldn't mind seeing more integrated activities. Like if you got any females that can dunk out there in WNBA, let them in the dunk contest too. Let them in the Rising Star Challenge. Let them in the 3-point contest. I would love to see stuff like that. Like that's just, I love that. Because there's some women out there that can ball out. Yes, the WNBA does not select the NBA, but that's just something exciting that we would love to see. More integration of the WNBA.
You know what's something that I really want to see, and you kind of mentioned stuff that happened before. Let's get a one-on-one tournament going or something,
That'll
man.
be tough.
Let's get a come on, man. Let's get a one-on-one tournament, bro, with the best players. Competition. Like you gotta think about, bro. These NBA players, they go at it all the time, especially in the off season. Let them go. Like Kyrie versus KD, like stuff like that. Like, bro, like that's what I would want to see. Like something like that. Like some of the guys that get voted to the All-Star teams, stuff like that. Let's do a one-on-one tournament on a Saturday night or whatever. Let's go at it. The virus. I think that that'll bring a lot more people and a lot more eyes on it, in competitive, and let's put some cash up, everything else. I think that's the biggest thing I would want to see is a one-on-one tournament. Just see the guys go at it, man. Like I said, I think that'd be big. I think that change, bring some more hype back to the All-Star Weekend that I think is kind of missing in the past few years.
I think that would be great, honestly. But hey, we want to hear y'all opinions. Matter of fact, give us your thoughts and opinions about NBA All-Star Weekend going down in Indy this weekend, starting Friday night with a whole bunch of festivities and activities going on all the way up until Sunday evening. Give us y'all predictions on who I think is win the dunk contest, the 3-point contest, the Rising Star Challenge, who's going to win Steph versus Sabrina, who's going to win the NBA All-Star Game, who's going to be the Celebrity All-Star Game MVP. We want to hear all that and below. Also, like Khalil asked me, what do you guys want to see new for All-Star Weekend? Any new ideas, any new integration ideas? Let's list them all down in the comment section below. Hopefully Adam Silver hears this and he'll give us some consideration. I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah. Before we end this, gotta give a shout out to Caitlin Clark for setting the NCAA record in points.
Shout out to her.
Hooping all year. She is absolutely box office. If you want to watch women's basketball, Caitlin Clark is the way. She's the one. I'm telling you, she's the one.
She's one of the ones.
She just set the record for points, passing Kelsey Plum for the most points in NCAA basketball. So shout out to her doing her thing.
Wait until she is league bound. It's gonna go crazy, man. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 46 of Before the Horn podcast. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Again, like I said in the beginning of the episode, thank y'all for their platform you guys are watching or listening to us on. We appreciate all the support and feedback. Also, make sure you guys check out our Patreon. We got hats and t-shirts coming out hopefully soon. We're getting those in order. Also, Patreon gives us access to chat with us on a daily basis. If you guys want to be a guest on this podcast as well, just DM us on our Instagram page. We give back to everybody. Also, make sure you guys are reposting and sharing our content that we're putting out there. We want to start interacting with you guys more and more. Also, if there's anything you guys want to see on this podcast, let us know with our DMs. We put stuff on our stories. Just respond to them. Let us know. We love hearing y'all opinions. We love hearing y'all ideas and listening out to you guys. We want to put that in this podcast to get more viewers and more support. Again, thank you for everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We appreciate the love and support we've been getting so far. Make sure you follow us on our social media at Before the Horn Podcast on Instagram, Before the Horn Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We have more content coming out soon. Like I said, in the last podcast, We took some time off just to get a couple things going on. You know, a bunch of us had a lot of stuff going on. So now that we're back full time, you know, we're going to start to roll out more content. Make sure you guys are sharing, interacting with us. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about, who you want to hear us see. We have some big things in the works as well. I'm not going to say anything yet, but just know we have some big things in the works as well that you're not going to want to miss. So make sure make sure you're tuned in and on the lookout for that stuff as well. But until next time, keep showing love. We appreciate the love and support.
Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. This is the end of episode 46 of Before the Horn podcast. We'll see y'all on Tuesday. Peace.